Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. Today, as the rest of the book world, I'm deciding to do the mid-year freakout tag. This is gonna cover like all the books I've read into the end of June. I'm not gonna talk about all of them, but like I don't count with July because 6 months, that's half a year. Mid-year, whatever. I'm also a bit sick, so you're lucky to me for this video. But yeah, I'm just gonna go through the questions and talk about some of my faves and some of my not so faves this year. Yay, let's go. So the first question is best book this year so far. And I looked at all the books, I gave 5 stars, and there's one winner, one clear winner. And that is, of course, Convenience of Woman by Sayaka Murata. This one is a adult fiction book where we follow this woman, Keiko, who is 36 years old. She has been working in a convenience store since she was like 18, and everyone around her is like, are you not going to do something else with your life? Are you not going to get married and get kids and get like a proper job? And she's just happy where she is in her life, but everyone keeps pushing on her and wanting her to do, more with her life, and she's trying to fit in like the boxes society makes for you. So it's really just this commentary on what society expects of people and how everyone needs to do certain things in your life to feel validated as a human, to feel, if you don't do all these things that everyone else does, then you are less value. And it just spoke to me in a different way because I read it also in a time of my life where I feel like this is really accurate to me. I'm trying to find my way as well though, because you kind of need a steady job to survive in the society we have made, which sucks, which also is a bit of point of this book because you are forced to choose something so you can survive, whatever that is. Which kind of sucks because society is like that, but either way, it just spoke to me and I love the humor in it. It was really like deadpan and I just love how it was written. It really went in my heart and I kind of want to reread it already, even though I just read it now in May. And I just love it to pieces. And then I got the purple edition because I really had a pink one. And I switched it with Erica, who got my pink one. Because I made her read it too, my best friend, and she loved it as well. So that's a good job right there. Just love everything about it. Want to reread it like now. So I really recommend this. Even though I know it's not for everyone, but for me it just spoke to me like thoroughly. So that's why it's a fave. The next question is best sequel so far. And I was like, have I even read any sequels? I have actually. I have even done, final books of core group this year, which is, to read the final books in different series, and I have been trying to focus on sequels, etc. But it was only one I had given 5 stars, which seems to then be the winner. And that was The Kingdom of Gods by Anki Jemisin. This is the final book in the Heritage trilogy. And the first book, 100,000 Kingdoms, The 100,000 Kingdoms, just follow our main character who goes into the capital, and she's gonna like take the place in kind of like council thing. They live in this world tree, they control the world, and she's gonna take her place there, or maybe, but then she needs to survive the court where people are trying to kill her because they don't want her to work there. But also it's a god story, so there's gods living in a world tree and humans control them. They've been enslaved for many years, like the gods. It's not a good thing, and it's just very interesting to meet all these different gods who are totally unhinged because they've been living for like a millennia, and then they're like forced to play dolls for these stupid humans, and it's just the best thing. And then the sequel to that, like the second book, it's kind of more a companion, but not really, because we do continue like to see the story to its end. And here we actually see like more of the world than I even like thought was possible, because like it even explores more than what you would think. Like, I don't know, I can't complete sentences. I'm sick, okay? It just kind of expands on everything, whereas you think you know a lot and I know like where the world is gonna go, etc. It just expands on all those things you thought you knew. So I thought that was really cool, and it really gives like that nice ending feeling because it just challenges what you already knew, and I really like that. So I get 5 out of 5 stars. Loved it. It's the thickest one, but it was just so much fun to see the story told, and it was just amazing. And I kind of want to reread the whole series as well, but I say that about every book I love, so there's that. And then next question is a new release you haven't read yet. There are several, of course. I cannot read every single new release, but the one I thought about was Book of Nights by Holly Black, which is the newest book by Holly Black. Obviously, it came out in May, and it's like a dark academia book, and I was really hyped for it. I thought it sounded really cool. But then the reviews have been coming in and everyone says it's terrible and everyone hates it and no one likes it. I literally not seen a single person like it. And I'm just like, will I like it? I don't know anymore. I was really high for it, but I still haven't read it. I don't know when I will, but like I still want to, of course, read it and form my own opinion, etc. And it seems like to be my vibe. But even though it's like my vibe, it might not be written in a way that I wanted to, or like the story might be poop, you know. So I'm curious to see what I will feel about it. But everyone has not been liking it. That's a new release I haven't read. And I don't know when I will. Now, the next question is your most anticipated release for the next part of the year. And if you know me, you should know this answer already. That is, of course, Babel by R.F. Kuang. I am like dying to read this. This is a dark academia book as well. And it's just, the reviews have been amazing. Everyone is loving it and raving about it. But I already knew I was gonna love it. Like, I know I will, and I of course have pre-ordered and everything, and I'm like dying because I want to read it now, and I want someone to just give me an arc because they feel bad for me because I haven't read it yet. But yeah, obviously Babel, it comes out I think the 23rd of August, and I know that's not too long until, but for me it feels ages until, and I wanted it now. Now, the next question is the biggest disappointment you read. Biggest disappointment you read, that was a sentence, but you got what I meant. And I was just looking at like whatever rating stuff, and I swear, because I feel the word disappointed entails that you had expectation for it and you were let down. Like I had a book I gave 1 star but I knew I was gonna hate it, so I can exactly say I was disappointed because I already knew I was gonna hate it, you know. But then I come up with a book that I thought I was gonna love but I didn't love at all, so that fits pretty well. And that is The Bear and the Nightingale by Catherine Arden. This one is a folk book in the Winter Night trilogy, and it's just like Russian folklore thingy. They set up out in the forest, it's winterly and cold, and everyone goes like towards new religion, Christianity, whatever, while like a main character like can still hear like the old creatures, etc. And I read this and I thought I was gonna love it because everyone has been raving about this for years, and I literally thought I was gonna love it, but I did not like it at all. Almost, I think I gave it 2 stars. I just was bored the whole way through. I didn't like see a concrete plot line. I really liked like a bit of a plot line. It was very much like just atmosphere, and for me the atmosphere was not enough to carry the story. We basically just go around and then nothing happens. We have some character interactions and running in the forest. For me it was not enough to carry the story, so I was severely disappointed in this. I don't know when or if I will like continue the series. I tend to finish all series I start, but like this was just like nah, not it for me, which is very disappointing because, as I said, people have been loving this and I thought I would love it too, but I didn't, so meh. Now the next one is the biggest surprise you read, and this one I chose The Darkness Outside Us by Elliot Sheffer. This was the Facing Kids pick for January, which is the book club I'm co-hosting, where we read queer sci-fi or fantasy every month. I have information down below if you want to check it out. But basically we picked out this and I hadn't really heard anything about it, but the reason it's a big surprise is really because of the story, because like it's not like I had a lot of expectations in it, but I never been so shook to my bones reading a story. It was so good. The twists, the turns, how things were revealed, how it was written, so surprising. Not at all what you think the book is about, which I adore. Like I adored it. But yeah, basically follows these 2 dudes that are going on this mission to save another person on another planet. I don't want to really say more because like that's what the synopsis says, but like it shook me to my bones. I was so surprised. It was so good. So yeah, I really recommend it, and hopefully more people will even read it because it was just I was just like, what? So yeah, that was a great ride, which also created a great discussion for the book. So hype, and it fit really well for the question, I think. And now for the next question is your newest favorite author, and for that it would be none other than Sayaka Murata again, really because I love Comedians to a Woman, and then I read Earthlings, which is also a book by the author, obviously. I don't know why I said it like that, but this one just follows a main character who has this stuffed animal which she believes is an alien. She believes she has magical powers, and it's really really weird. It turns very twisty and dark. I really recommend looking up trigger warnings for this. It's just so weird, but really also has some of like the same bullet points from this one, just in a totally different way. And after reading like the 2 books from the author, I also know she's coming up with like a short story collection, I think now in June. Well, it's not June anymore, but like I think it came out in June or now in July, I don't remember, so I need to get to that too. But after reading those 2, I just know she's now one of my favorite authors. I will read anything she writes, so that's why I talk about the same one again. But I just love her points in her stories. I love how they're written. I love how they're so weird, but like I feel like they speak to me still. And yeah, just such a good time. I don't know why I looked inside of it. It's like an urge when I hold a book I need to flap through the pages. I'm sick, okay? Sorry if I'm weird. The room is spinning a bit. I should not be filming, but here we are. Basically, two next questions I feel like I could have just turned around answers because they both work either way. But new is Fictional Crush. And then I just chose the main character from A Tower of Blood. And then I forgot their name of, which like seems embarrassing. But Constanta, who gets turned into a vampire and lives all of these years, hundreds of years, with her lord, like a vampire. Well, it's not a love story at all. It's actually a story about their abusive relationship. But I just love our main character and her voice and how she came out of it. And to be honest, the polar relationships here, like the polar vampire relationship, if I was there and if I was turned into a vampire, I would also be in love with all of them, but especially Constanta. So that's why she's my new fictional crush. She just seems like a really cool person. And I will totally be together with her and be a vampire forever with her. So I counted this one. And also, this book was amazing. 5 out of 5 stars. I just used every excuse to talk about my faves here, okay? And next one is news favorite characters. I think I could take Constanta, but I think like favorite character fit more for my answer here as well. But this could also be my newest fictional crush. And that is, of course, Guts from Berserk, which I just read now the first volume of. I have a video of that when I read it. And yeah, he's my character. He has a big sword and he kills people. And I only read this so far. Oh, this smelled really booky. Loved him. Favorite character, I loved him. I'm just gonna repeat myself. Would die for him. Would feed him. Would have I was gonna say would have babies with him, and I wouldn't do that. But I would be there for him and be the shoulder to cry on. So yeah, cannot wait to read more. And mwah. Yes. Now for the next question, it is the book that made you cry, and for that I have A Spindle Splintered by Alex E. Harrow. So I don't really tend to cry in books, but this one made me tear up. This is a Sleeping Beauty retelling, following a main character who comes from our world, and she's like quite sick as well. I think she's dying soon. Not things. She's been told she's dying soon. And then she gets thrown into this world where Sleeping Beauty is, and she's trying to save Sleeping Beauty from her fate as well as her own. And it's just a beautiful story. But what made me cry was just the family and the friendship in this. Because when friends, really close friends, have good moments with each other, or like when family steps out and like they say they love each other or something, that I lose my shit, okay? I apparently have a really soft spot for there, and I always like tear up, and it made me get goosebumps, and it's making me get goosebumps now. But I don't know if that's just because I'm sick or because I'm thinking about the book. It is also FF romance. It was amazing. 5 out of 5 stars. I loved it to pieces. Look at me just trying to talk about every one of my faves in one video to have one for each question. But yeah, I did actually tear up though, so needed something to answer this question with. And now it is a book that made you happy, and for that I am choosing The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I feel like I talked about it so much on my channel since I read it in January, but basically I love this. I loved it a lot. So it's basically follows, what's her name again? Avery, and she inherits a lot of money from this random white dude that she never met and don't know, and she's trying to figure out why. And I was so intrigued. She also needs to live in the house where he lived with 4 of his grandsons, and they're all hot, and it's just like drama, and I loved it. There's like a mystery. We tried to find out these clues of why she inherited this money, and I just loved it to pieces. And it made me happy because it made me feel so engaged in the story. It made me feel happy because I was just like the rush of money I wish I had, you know. It was like a serotonin boost for the money I wish I had in my bank account. I don't know what I'm saying. Okay, now for the next one is your favorite book to movie adaptation. And right now I didn't bother looking through all the things I watched, that was a sentence. So I'm just going with the obvious one, which will be Heartstopper, which I assume a lot of people will also answer for this question. But yeah, Heartstopper was a Netflix series earlier this year, and people lost their shit. But yeah, I had read it before, and then I reread it right before the show. It's an adorable thing where these 2 boys meet in high school and fall in love, and the adaptation was perfect, and the graphic novel is adorable. So that will be my favorite, I think. And then for next question is the favorite video I made this year. So I made quite a lot actually, because I did Vida in April where I posted like 100 billion videos, so that was really fun. Well, not 100 billion, I posted one every day, so 30. And I genuinely like been feeling really chill about my content this year. Posted a lot of reading vlogs, which I always wanted to do, but I just never did it. So now like this year I feel like I've been posting, like some months I've been posting weekly and then some months off, because I don't think I could do it every week. I'm feeling like content about that. But what I'm really excited for, and like I guess is my favorite, is the reading Booktuber's Favorites series. So I started out with reading Cecilia's faves, and I'm currently in the middle of 2 other ones, which I'm very excited for to get out. And I just have a plan in my head of who I want to do. That sounded weird, but you get what I meant. And I just decided to discover new favorites and just reading those books for a purpose, and just had a really great time. So I am excited for that series, and I guess I could call it my favorite because there's so much fun like buying books and judging people's tastes. And now for the next question, which is the most beautiful book you got this year. And for that I'm of course answering Mistborn Letterbound Sat, which is the stunning one from Dragon's Daily Entertainment. I didn't bother taking all 3 out because I feel like my arms are dying because I'm sick, so I can't carry more. But yeah, it's just stunning, it's beautiful, love it to pieces. I recorded for me, have a whole video where I gush about it. I feel like this was the only right answer. I got them this year and I love them. And then for the last question is books or a book you need to get to. And for this I don't like have one book to talk about because there's so many I need to get to. But basically everything I picked out in sequence I was going to finish this year, I mean series, as well as my summer TBR, which I will get to ASAP, and then just 12 friends recommend 12 books challenge, which I started and I have a few left off. So all those things I want to get to, as well as finishing off all Rick Rider's books, which I doubt I will get to this year, but that was my goal. So that's all the things I want to get to like now-ish. So hopefully I will. I will probably try to leave a link to all the things I talk about here down below so that you're like what I'm actually talking about. I just didn't bother to go through every single title. But yeah, that is it for this video. That was all the questions. I feel like I just want to talk about all my faves. I managed to do so I'm happy. Leave a emoji with a mask on down below because I'm sick and that's the only thing I can come up with right now. I'm sorry. Okay, goodbye, see you soon.